Was ist hier passiert? Ich hab geahnt, da ist doch irgendwas.
So as you saw in that little montage, we lost 1-0 out in Stuttgart. So we've got it all to do tonight. In truth, since the Atalanta game in the last episode, we've not been that impressive. We were 2-0 up against Wayne Rooney's Athletic Bilbao, only for Inaki Williams to score a hat-trick in the second half. And for us to lose, they pegged it back inside 2 minutes after we gave the half-time team talk that the players really didn't respond to. In the next game, we were good. We beat Atletico Madrid 2-0, but we laboured to a 1-1 draw against Betis in the next game. And then we went out to Stuttgart, and we were pretty lacklustre, I have to be honest. Both teams struggled to create any good chances. And as you can see, we even had the better of the XG, but neither side really deserved a goal. None of our players really put in a spellbinding performance. We could have played for another 2 or 3 hours. I'm not confident we would have scored a goal. And in our most recent game, we played Cadiz, who are towards the bottom of the table, and we kicked off in our usual 4-1-3-2 formation. But it really wasn't doing the business against Cadiz. I mean, have a look at the match stats here. This is not a game that we should have won. Our XG is inflated by the fact that Paulo Dybala scored his 89th penalty of the season, and those are the only goals that he's scored for the club. So at half-time, we decided to stray away from the 4-1-3-2. After all the tactical tinkering this season and the disastrous run of forms that we've been on, we'd pledged to try and stick with the 4-1-3-2 all the way to the end of this series. But being 1-0 down to Stuttgart and not having played well recently, we're going to gamble it all on a new system tonight. So I'm fairly confident already that this won't work. I can hear your screams already. Don't change the system. Just try and stick with what the players know. Well, we've looked so average recently, and we need to score at least 1 goal to force extra time against Stuttgart. 2 goals if we're going to win the tie without the need for penalties. I'm injecting width back into the system. Ideally, we could have a couple more players that would be more suited to this system, but players like Ismail Bora and Sergio Rosanas are both out injured at the moment, and I'm going to be asking a lot more from our fullbacks in an attacking sense, and I'm not sure players like Corey and Darba are necessarily the players to be flying forward from left fullback. We're going to ask it of them nonetheless. We're going to dispense with the central midfielder on attack. We're going to bring back a winger and an inside forward, and we're pinning a lot of our hopes on Paulo Dybala, a player who scored 4 goals in 18 starts, 24 appearances overall. All of his goals have come from the penalty spot. He's not scored in the Champions League. He's not scored in the Europa League. His physicals are plunging off the edge of a cliff, but we're trusting the little magician for one night of magic as a false 9, with 2 players hopefully rushing past him and 2 players getting up to get in and around him. And we're going to hope that we can perhaps spring Stuttgart's rather defensive system that they played in the first leg and try and get in behind them and get a chance on goal. We've got to score 1. Ideally, we need to score 2. I'd love to score them early. Wish us luck. We're going to get out there. This could be the final game we bring you of Beg, Borrow, Steal. So the players are out for their warm-up. This could either be genius or it could be madness. We might find magic from Cordoba over on the left. We might find that McComb rediscovers his shooting boots as a right winger. We might see that Dybala rolls back the years and has the game of his life. Or we might be 2-0 down after 10 minutes and we're all staring at the screen with me in tears and us unable to make any further progress in Europe. But fingers crossed, the players might just step up. We are the home team. It was the away leg that we lost in that first tie. So maybe with our home supporters behind us, we might just be able to spring a little surprise. I would love to get a goal in the first half so that we can really go and try and attack them at the second half. And there is the little man. I was a little distracted because it was their throw and I didn't see any danger for them. But Dybala has somehow scored a goal. They've got a little throw-in. It's all pretty much under control there, and it's actually not a little bit of magic from the wee man, is it? Well, what can we say positively about him? He was in the right place at the right time. His first goal for Europa from open play. And we are now right back in the tie. We're doing a good job so far, I think, of winning the ball back in midfield. But we've got to try and do that again today. Koulibaly rises at the back. Stuttgart are coming forward again. We've got a decent shape about us. They've got 3 men across the front, but we've got them all fairly well covered. We just need to win the ball back and try and spring another counter-attack on them. It's a long old highlight, this, which often spells danger. But we've managed to get Diego Rosa in with a challenge. It's run to their right winger, though. And Darba can't get across to cover his man. And Barossi shows some rare solid hands of late. He's been up to his old tricks, by the way. Another goal conceded where he cleared the ball to their attacker, who dinked it over him. It's the second time this season he's done that. He did it against Athletic Bilbao as well, which helped them get back into the game. McComb's in at the far post. That's where we're looking a little bit more dangerous now. More crosses coming into the box. Players arriving from out wide to try and get in at the far post. And we're actually going to pause the game and we're going to shout out some praise because we've made a relatively solid start to this one. That has helped a little bit with the body language, although it's not quite the desired effect that I was hoping for. And we've got a corner to defend. They've managed to head it clear, but we've not been able to pick up the loose ball. And Stuttgart have actually got some numbers out wide. They've had a go from the edge of the area, blazed it over the box. If we're going to keep them from that range, I guess that's okay. But I'd still like to see us create a real good chance ourselves before the break. Stuttgart are coming at us again. We've won the ball back twice and they've still emerged with it. But we have got them pinned outside our area again. We've got 4 or 5 players spread out across the edge of the box. We just need to win the ball back and spring a counter. As it is, Stuttgart are playing through us a little bit and they've got Shackleton, who was involved in their goal in the first leg and looks dangerous again in the second. We've both had 5 shots, 6 shots for us. The difference being ours have been on target so far and Stuttgart have been blazing theirs over or wide, but we are still not at the half-time break. And Stuttgart are starting to find their way back into this game, I fear. We need a second goal, and I think we need it as soon as possible so that we can try and control the game a little bit more. Not seen any kind of defensive play from Ndaba over at left back. I know he's not going to be bombing forward as I would like, but I'd at least like to see him getting some challenges in. And he really hasn't so far, and they've got him behind us, and we've relied on Barossi. And apart from Koulibaly and Dybala, we've not had great performances this half. Maybe some more tweaks are needed. At half-time, we probably could have got to that ball if we'd have been a bit more committed. And again, we've got defending to do. And finally now, hopefully we can get it clear. Cordoba, not exactly flooding up to support him, but Samau's helped win it back. McComb's got pace. He could run at a man. Instead, he's given it to Dybala. Now we've got it to McComb. Dybala is dropping very, very deep to get involved in the play as the false 9. Now we've got Cordoba in. He's 6'2". It does not help him. He's headed it over the bar. And I think we just need to get into half-time and just settle the boys down. Maybe have a little tweak of the tactics. See if we can get more players into the box when we're attacking. And try and get that second goal that we need. So we've allowed ourselves one little tweak at the break. We've asked our advanced playmaker in the centre of midfield, Kieran Murray, to be attacking rather than supporting, just to see if we can get another man further forward, maybe even arriving late in the box so that we've got more options as the ball comes in. We've already got one fullback booked in Samu. Now we've got the second one booked in Ndaba, and we've got 45 minutes to try and navigate with both fullbacks potentially on a red card if they commit another foul. And Stuttgart might have just broken our hearts. We're relying on an offside decision here. Otherwise, we're back where we started at the beginning of the game, and the goal has been awarded. We've got a man over, 3 men unmarked at the far post, and now we need a lot more from the players. We're going to have to pause. We're going to have to give a shout. We're going to try and demand more of the team. We're going to have to nudge the mentality up as well, I think. And potentially we're going to be looking at changes because we are going out of Europe as things stand. We've got to the 60-minute mark. We've not been able to force a highlight. It's time to get some more reinforcements on the pitch and extra players up front. We've got 30 minutes. We need a goal or the series is done. 30 minutes to go then. We've taken off our defensive midfielder. We've gone 4-2-4 to try and snag a goal to get us back into this tie. Remember, one goal is just going to be enough to force extra time. We need 2 more goals if we're going to win the tie outright, and we could do without Barrosi doing those terrible, terrible passes to the opposition once more. And we need more again. We're going to fire them up this time as we get the header away from goal, but it's actually Stuttgart that have looked the more likely since they took the lead overall in this tie. We've not created a thing, and Barrosi has to bail us out again. We need more from the players. We're going to have to go 3 up front, I think, in a moment. What we're doing at the moment is just not working. We've got poor performances from our players out wide. And I think we are now done. We are 3-1 down on aggregate, 2-1 down on the night. And it has all just slipped through our fingers. We've got 2 players at the far post, neither marking the player that scored the goal, and now we're going to throw the kitchen sink at it, but I fear the end is coming. Okay, we've got 17 minutes to find 2 goals. We've got 3 players up front, but I don't think it's going to come. Look at the XG. We have not been great in this game yet again. And I think the players have just burnt out a little bit. The system got found out by the opposition. I don't think it coped well with the winter update either. And the players have just not been in the same form that they were in last season. I think an offside flag is going to deprive us of a goal there. If it does count, we are back in it, you know. We've got 14 minutes. We are going very attacking, though. We are going to be incredibly vulnerable. We're now essentially playing a 2-2-2-1-3. It's a very, very gung-ho system, but needs must. Is there anything extra we can do? With 10 minutes to go, we could perhaps nudge the lines up even further to try and pin Stuttgart back. Otherwise, I already think we are throwing the absolute kitchen sink at it. We'll be more expressive, I guess. 10 minutes to find a goal. Otherwise, the series is done. 9 minutes to go. And Stuttgart have a throw-in on our right. They've got acres of space in front of our defence because we've got 3 players just stood on the halfway line trying to break. And one of them, in the shape of Rossi, has won the ball. He's gone incredibly long. He's asked a lot of Lutzi. He's not quite quick enough to get on it. And now Stuttgart have got chances again. We've got gaps all over the pitch. And there is another goal for them. We're right back where we started again. 4-2 down on aggregate, 3-2 down on the night. And this is painful viewing now. We've at least started to threaten a little bit going forward, but it's Stuttgart that are scoring all the goals. That one is a country mile offside. That will not count. But we are open. These players have been overperforming for a couple of years now. We've got players like Rasanas that played 3rd division football for us. We've got players like Rossi who've been playing 2nd division football for us. We've got players like Lander that were playing 4th division football for us. In fact, if we are going to make one last change, if we're going to go out, we're going to go out strong. Who is our poorest performing midfielder? It is, of course, Cordoba. We will at least finish with Lander on the pitch. Who knows, maybe he could grab a corner, a free kick and get us one consolation goal. I fear even that might be beyond us tonight. We've got one last chance to try and score a goal in this save. We've got Rossi. He's hit the bar. And there we go. That is going to be the end of our time at Europa. We finish it with just defensive howlers. Lutzi giving the ball away. People diving in even though they're on yellow cards. We've lost our heads back there, haven't we? And, you know, Stuttgart score another goal. I'm not sure it's entirely undeserved because we have not shown up Some pretty last-ditch defending that there. We have not shown up in this game. Despite taking the lead early when it ricocheted off the hip of Dybala, the romantic story is not to be written. We're into the final few seconds of our time at Europa. And it finishes with Barrosi tipping a ball over the bar. And we are bowing out of Europe. We have got a job on to try and qualify for European competition for next year. Some of these players have not performed too badly, but some of our bigger names, Milanese, McComb, absent without leave tonight, I think. We will throw the water bottle just to make me feel a little bit better. But the European adventure is over. We've now got to go away. We might sim forward a few years and see how Europa get on. We might also come back for a special episode where we have a look at where some of our Europa favourites from down the years have ended up and what kind of careers they've gone on to have. However, that's going to be the last time you see these boys in action as we start thinking about what our next adventure is going to be in FM22.